All right, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the road to 5200. I guess it's like sort of been on hiatus, but not really. I've still been like practicing, decently and trying to get better at the game. And I actually did crack 5200 on NA in an ironic turn of events. I thought NA was harder to get MMR on because EU seemed a little bit inflated. For most people that I was seeing, they're about 100 MMR higher on EU. That turned out to be the opposite of the case, opposite case for me. I'm still stuck at 5K on EU, but I've made progress on NA and I hit 5200 there. So yeah, it leaves the series kind of in a weird spot. But I'm gonna stick with my guns here, get to 5200 EU. So this is actually going to be the first of, I think, every week I want to do 3 pieces of content now. 2 StarCraft related, and then 1 we're going to do Age of Empires related as well, which I think is going to be interesting if you're interested in the game. I'm going to not read anything, just talking to people and trying to get a base understanding of the game. And I'm going to be trying to, I'll make pieces of content at 0 games played, 5 games, 10, 25, etc. And I'll give my take on like what I've learned about the game itself. To sort of separate from trying to, get into the whole build orders and trying to keep up with meta. Because I know that there's people that are like interested in playing Age of Empires 4 who are coming from other RTSs, in my case StarCraft 2, but maybe like War 3 or I guess even AoE 2. But AoE 2 players probably know everything that they already need to know. But for me, I'd like to get to know an RTS a little bit, more leisurely, I guess, on the mechanical level. And then after we've done that, we'll actually learn to play correctly. But none of that, because what we're going to be doing here is entering into this replay of this game I played against Neuro. He is a well-known StarCraft 2 content creator and excellent player of the video game, except my keyboard is telling me it does not like me right now, and I don't know why. Hello, keyboard. All right. This kind of crap usually happens during Twitch streams, but so yeah, basically right now, I guess we'll just like fast forward through the intro phase, probably like the first 2-3 minutes. Basically right now, actually I'll slow it down while I talk about it. My content on YouTube is basically co-op companions, and then I think of them as throwaway VODs, but I'm sure you guys don't. Like, just clips of decent games from, ladder while I'm streaming on Twitch. But I would like to have a couple pieces of content a week that are just, like, for YouTube that still benefit, like, me getting better. And this is, like, one thing I kind of started doing it before, but now I'm sort of organizing my life a little bit more, and I'm gonna sort of come back to it. So I think on Thursday night, I actually played these games off stream. Neuro was streaming. I just wasn't feeling getting on camera or whatever. It brings a different mentality. I don't know. You're constantly thinking about the fact that people see you, and it's in the back of your head, even though it doesn't mentally tax you that much. It's still kind of there. So the new maps, like I actually wanted to make content about them, but I never did. I guess this kind of does that. This map is Belingrad, and it's a particularly interesting map. I kind of have a plan and a strategy for this map. I think it's pretty decent. It's a riff off of Uthermal's brick build. If you don't know it, it's just a standard like 3cc opening into 5 racks into 8 racks, and 8 racks are naked. I think with different variations, sometimes you only get 4 gas, sometimes you get a 5th gas. I cannot remember what I did. So this isn't the cleanest execution you'll see. In fact, it's not even, remotely close to the cleanest execution you'll see. It's more like moderate to decently clean. Actually, before we continue on, I just realized that someone in the comments is going to mention this, and they're not going to notice. But I really, really should show you guys the supplies. I didn't think about that. There you go. All right. Yeah, well, this is the same scene I was using for, when we actually play ladder games, which we're going to do. I'm going to upload one 5200 ladder game Road to 5200 ladder game 2 this week as well, which I'll play right after I'm done talking through this. So we're at let's get up to 5 minutes. Right now everything looks normal. If you haven't seen this before, then I guess you haven't watched any decently high level StarCraft 2 in a while. This is just 3cc opener into Hellions. You take your 3rd CC before starport, and you get the second gas. Well, I guess when you have the money for it, once you got everything kind of lined up. I haven't cleaned up my build orders in a while, but with TVZ, it's just, there's a real flow element to it. Like, if everything goes according to plan, the money all lines up, and you know, if you're floating, then you know you have too much, kind of deal. But there are, you know, obviously, like, Thermal's a good guy to look at if you want to have, like a YouTube style tutorial of how to do the 8 racks correctly. So I figured that there's actually a very good spot to attack on this map, especially if your opponent takes vertical 4th, which Neuro was so kind to me to actually do. And I should also mention that he said on stream he felt like he was having a rough day, and when we played all the new maps, I think I went 4-1. That's much better than my usual like streak against him. So like when we'll play like 5 games, usually it'll be 3-2. It'll be much closer than this. So either I've gotten much better, or he was being 100% honest. And Neuro does not strike me as the kind of guy that isn't. So just taking my my 3rd base. Now this is like, I remember when 6-minute 3rd CC was like a well-timed 3rd, and now you're seeing a 450 land, and it's pretty well defended too. I mean, I'm very sure it's not roaches. We've been in his face with the Hellions since 2. You always want to be across the map with the first 2 Hellions, and with the Reaper to make sure that you're not getting roached. And if it is roach, you just drop 2 bunkers and hope that your micro is good, and that the roaches are not plentiful, and that the Zerg will take pity on you. This is always cheeky. That drone, he was destined to become a 4th base. But this also tells me, like, in advance that what the battle plan that I am looking for here, which I will tell you when we get closer, is gonna actually happen. So like I'm kind of happy here. I'm kind of smirking on my side of the screen. You know, and obviously I don't have the replay. I don't have the recorder. You can watch on Neuro stream if you can find. I think last Thursday that would have been the VOD from the 28th. If you want to go like hunt down on his stream and see, we were just talking some pretty mad trash. It was just, not that mad. I mean, it's Neuro. He's a nice guy. Like, even when he bullies me, he's always bullying me with the kindness. You know, he's not trying to make me feel too bad. I don't know if I was being as charitable. It's a little bit more on brand for me, but you know, it is what it is. You know, he always takes it well. So, I've been preferring the Raven lately. I really like this style. I think the Raven actually comes in handy many times throughout the game, especially if you can save them. I like the fact that I can do a little bit of work here on the hatchery. And what's really cool about the Raven is that the auto turret is obviously an energy-based thing. And you know what else is energy-based? Transfuse is energy-based. So every single time, Neuro, obviously, okay, so very quickly, listen, PSA, don't lose your Raven, okay? I'm a bad player. Don't be like me. Cosplay as someone like Clem, you know? Be as much like Clem as you can, and as little like me as you can, and you'll be a much better player. See here, I was thinking I was doing pretty good, lose the Raven, and this is where, you know, you facepalm, smash your head off the keyboard, get really sad. I think we are on ×1 now, right? So ×1 this is a good time to be ×1ing it. Yeah, so this is the crux of the strategy. So here, if you look at this base very quickly, like, this is a terrible 3rd, okay? Like, you would not generally want this 3rd base, and the reason is really simple. This base is so open for any kind of attack that it's like, you know, he can sneak in, he can come this way, he can do massive pushes in the whole thing, like, he can do whatever he wants. This has a very clear choke, so this is, like, a much safer base, I think, to take. But obviously, the barracks, they're pretty hefty buildings. They're not easy to kill. And this is a standard placement, too. So you kind of have divided it now into 2 parts. If the Zerg wants to actually try and break this down, they're going to need a lot of Banelings. Not a couple, but a lot of them. So now it's kind of, you know, your way. And I'll spoil it now. I'm going to attack here. Now, in this game versus Neuro, I'll unpause here, I guess. In this game versus Neuro, I actually had not refined this idea as far as I should have, and it should have been very obvious to me. I actually pushed a little bit further down to like spoil a little bit more. You should, you know, if you don't want to make it any further in the video, you're sick of my voice, you should be trying to push to here, okay? You want to push here, put your tanks there and a couple to cover, and then when you push up this ramp, anytime the banelings try and attack, they will get hit by the tank on the high ground. And the nice thing about this position is that it covers these two bases, and look at how hard it is and for the ZERG to get a good flank here, right? This is a terrible position for the ZERG to push. If you catch the ZERG coming up this ramp, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And there's a massive flank time to get all the way around, right? Now, to cover counterattacks, I actually wall this off, right? Because this is a semi-all-in. It's semi-all-in because if the ZERG knows it's coming, they can try to prepare. It will still be strong and tough to defend against. But more importantly, you're probably going to get damage done. And if you get damage done, you can usually come out of it. So it's one of those builds that's like the best Zergs in the world if they know what's coming 100% of the time. And like if they know they're sure and then they prepare for it, they're probably going to win. But that's because they're the best. And everyone else, like, it's very tough to win because you actually need to out-micro the fight too and take as little damage as possible. But it's kind of tough too because, you know, for Neuro, especially in this game, I've had very dominant control of the map, right? He has not managed to leave and to do anything, basically. I've had pretty much, you know, unilateral control of the entire map since I got onto it, right? Creep is still heavily repressed. The only thing that you can see that I made a mistake here is that I have a 1 depot gap. This is actually a mistake. I fixed it in more recent, like, games. It is... I don't think the tank will fit. Or on this, like, weird diagonal. It'll fit through a proper 1 depot sized gap, but I think this is like... I think if we scroll over here, you can see that it's kind of like it's not an actual 1 depot. It's not the 2 hex. It's I think it's just 1 or not the 3 hex, but it's 2 hex, and I don't think the tank fits. If I'm not mistaken, I actually have to ferry the tank over the gap. And you really shouldn't do that. Like, you should really fix it. And once you've got this wall, yeah, I even move it. There it is, so you can see. So a nice thing to do if you're playing this map and you're playing this build, right, is to make sure that you put the barracks, like, in the right spot, or to have a nice, like, position for the depot. So yeah, you can see that already Neuro is trying to come up here and defend, but I've cleared the creep really well. And so this is a really, really bad fight for him. This is not what he should be doing. He's off creep. He needs to be spreading creep and to defend harder and not be taking these fights. So we can see, look at the tanks. I did what's known as, like, getting a little bit too excited here. I got a little bit overconfident, a little overzealous. Felt like I could just come in and win. Instead of playing my position, I didn't get any reinforcements. I'm just sort of trading. It's going okay till that. And now it's not okay anymore. I've sort of done the inverse of what Neuro did, where Neuro attacked off creep and I attacked on creep, and they kind of cancel each other out. So now, of course, I realize though that we've done quite a bit of damage, done a lot of trading, and I'm right in my mind. Like, we're down 12 workers, but it's not really that much because of mules. So I just attack again. Nice and easy. I mean, with this build, you want to be attacking. Neuro almost catches me here, and in fact, like, he kind of did. We'll see how much damage he gets done. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Decent splits, you know. Like 1/8 Clem. I try to upgrade myself to more parts Clem every time, but, you know, 1/8 Clem is decent. I don't know what I'm looking at here, but, sometimes I have a bad habit of looking at my base and I don't need to sometimes. I think I fixed my positioning by the end of this game. I did not. I missed the focus fire attempt there. 2-2 almost finished. From this position, I still feel very, very confident. And Neuro, again, like, I think when we talked about this after, because he's struggled on this map, like, I think this is the wrong base to take as the ZERG. I think that my position on the high ground here is too ridiculous. Right? Like, when I finally decide to put that tank in the corner where it belongs, like that tank right there, you're losing both of these bases. It's very difficult, especially without creep. With creep, obviously, it's a different story, but that's, you know, then the map is kind of different. But look at how ridiculous this tank is, right? Like, I have so much range. Every time I kite back, that tank is just a huge threat. Yeah, it's nice and straightforward from here. And I actually don't think so. From here, like, I'm at 168 supply. It's like it should be pretty clear that Neuro is gonna have an incredibly hard time, if not an impossible feat, to come back here. Yeah, we just keep piling on the pressures. Corruptors are like near invincible versus Marines, but it doesn't really matter. We're still up 33 supply. Worker counts even. Looks good. So the crux of this build to take away, if you're going to try and, you know, play it yourself, is to 8 racks, make sure that you get that nice wall. And by putting those barracks there, you really make the rallying to this point, like, very short. Right? It's actually a very short rush distance to continually reinforce here. If my opponent takes the bottom side, I'd actually still push. I'd push the high ground here. Right? And I would try to clear as much creep as possible. And I would try to push for this base still. I don't think I would go. I think this is too far away a position, to be honest. I kind of thought about it. But you just don't have the same level of, you know, abusability, I think. I would push this side and then drop on this side to try and deny this low ground base, which I think the ZERG is going to either have as a 4th or a 3rd, no matter what. And then the high ground bases, I think, are, you know, easily denied by this position. And then, of course, you have me donating here to charity, a cheeky Ling Run By, which is my favorite kind of thing to do. I like to give away my units for free. It's actually my favorite thing. Yeah, it's beautiful. All right. So basically, from this point, we're done. I'll let you watch to the end, though, because the ending was kind of cheeky. I think he kind of spoiled it for me, and he was talking about, like, oh man, I was trying to go to Greater Spire this game. And so I was like, oh really? Greater Spire, you say? And so I like dart over there, and I think there's like 12. Oh, you can kind of see them on the minimap there with the scan, but I didn't see them. We'll just fast forward. Obviously, I cleaned this up pretty easily. And there's the millions of Broodlords. Alright. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this Road to 5200 episode. Okay, I think it's like episode 6, but I'm not really going to episodically name them, I don't think. Just sort of keep them in order in the playlist. And yeah, one day we'll make 5200. My goals from there, I think. AoE 4 coming out is kind of throwing a wrench in the gears. I don't really know what to do with it. I don't know if I'm going to take it a little bit more seriously. Right now, it's just going to be casual. I still have full intentions of trying to get the 5200. And then from there, I want to go to 5500 after that. Like, I want to be making a dedicated push towards that, but I'll probably take like a bit of a break to clean up some streaming stuff that I've meant to do, like with overlays and, you know, back end stuff that, you know, the non-sexy parts of streaming. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys do some of this on ladder. Let me know if it works out for you. You know, see if you can abuse this position, which I think is oh so good on this map. And let me know how it goes in the comments below. Oh yeah, also, started a second YouTube channel. I'll be linking it in the community thing since it doesn't actually... I think it's more up a tree. I stole that from Loco. I think he stole it from someone else. I don't know. It's going to be general gaming stuff, so I can't have an individualized link to 100 subs, so got to start from scratch over there. Yeah. Right now we're playing like Skyward Sword or something, so if you have any interest in watching that, then go subscribe, figure out where that is. And yeah, I hope you guys have an excellent day, and beat up some Zergs on this map for me, okay? Okay.